Oh, just to recap off of part one of this video, Muslim, Christian, Jew, Hindu, Buddhist, and Atheist 1, 2, and all in between. This is for the absolute bigger, better of you. Okay, Pistis Sophia in the mythology was an atom that split, but prior to her becoming the first primordial atom that she was and splitting, female, right? She was a part of the force of God, which was all the positive energy of creation of existence, right? But but she wasn't of it, and I don't know how to explain that. Like, I'm in the world, but I'm not of the world. You understand what I'm trying to tell you? So, to make a long story short, through her negative desire to only be one more positive and good with the flow of God as truth, right? She coagulated to a neutronic point, right? That was the density of all matter, space, and time, right? And exploded infinitely negative and positive to the reality of all matter, creation of existence being created. But prior to that, right, as this energy filled her up, right, to the point to where she exploded with an orgasmic affair of God, overpowering the neutron, right, to the negative force, to the negative fiber of it going against the force of the good God and truth of all things positive to reality, okay? And when it exploded, right, when she exploded with dual polarities, one more positive with energy and the other one more negative with energy, and both of them are infinite, okay? The neutral of nothing, okay? And the negative comes to the point of the neutrons of all atoms, just like it did when the energy of God hit it as a flow, right? And the proton came, or all the positive energy came to the point of the proton, E equals mc squared. And when that happened, the proton again overwhelmed the atoms. But at this point, it was able to stabilize more atoms, okay? I guess as generational seeds of the everlasting God through mankind of reality check. And I'll show you why, okay? Because at that point, when the first atom was created good as truth, right? It was the absolute bigger, better atom, man, right? Of the good God and truth of Jesus Christ of all I am. Of all for everlasting peace, right? That never dies negative to one neutral nothing. And it was the point at which all things creation of existence to the reality of negative, right? Had to cross to one neutral nothing, and I'll explain. As the inertia of all of existence settled, and we came back a more positive universe, so says the here and now existence of all God, truth, reality check, right? The atoms that were coagulating in all this energy and all this static, twisted, scattered, undefined matter came together as the cosmos, okay? But it's all in negative flux, okay, to the reality of the earth being created. And then the Spirit of God, the good God and truth of all I am, right, brought all of existence back more positive than the negative matters of it, right, okay, to the reality check of the earth, okay, being able to become more positive than negative to sustain bigger, better matters of life being able to exist and thrive, okay? And at this point, there was an ape species, and as the Colburn says, in the cavern of woe, right, the thieving Holy Spirit, right, the positive energy, the good God and truth of all I am, overwhelmed a female she-ape, right? And she became a woman, right? And through this she-ape, the first Adamite male, good God and truth of all I am, right, was created. And all that was left of her Because when the energy of God come to her, it also come to her tribe. And most of them threw themselves over a cliff with the energy, meaning they destroyed themselves. Okay? But what was there and what was left, right? That bred with the energy of the good God and truth of the bigger, better Adam man of all I am became the God kings that created the pyramid structures all around the earth as a true sister reflection of the one God at every point of time and space. Of all God, truth reality check of Pistis Sophia, Mother Earth, and Father God being one together. United, bigger, and better than all negativity. And mankind is the only species of existence that can articulate the negatives and positives of them, or the positives and negatives of them, to come back good as truth. No, you can't teach no other animal. And that's why all that bred as a secondary with her, right? Because she wasn't born a woman, she was born more ape than anything, and the enlightenment of the orgasmic affair overwhelming her, right? Because that's what the energy did. It took her to a higher state of being, right? It created her and turned her into a woman, okay? And in reality check, all that bred with her that wasn't of the enlightened Adam man of all I am became the Shiva lineage of reality, more monkey than man. In the Estes of the soul, it says a female soul is on the outside and has a reverse appendage of a man. It's not talking about a female as far as a woman goes. It's talking about when you cross negative with negativity, because all energies is negative of being one more positive and good is female, right? And when you do that, you act more like a monkey than a man. And Lord Shiva, right? And Hinduism is the first faith of religion in the world. And all faith is a static, twisted, scattered, undefined lie, okay? That will never tell you to just cross all you are of negative energy back one more positive. You will be good as truth of your matter, only crossing bigger and better. So says every atom creation applied one to the here and now existence of the bigger, better, good God and truth of you. And you know why they don't say it? Because they don't know it. Listen to me. As the God Kings advanced, right? These people became more inferior minded, where they became more cooperative and united and they didn't die. These people became more sickly, right? And more scavengery and more hoarders of resources, more haters of life. You hear me? And because of that, man, they got so inferior feeling that they tried to overthrow the God Kings through marriage, okay? Now, marriage, right, is articulated for one reason and one reason only. To establish you with the wealth of the government, right? And to establish, in the beginning was also to establish your kingdom with another. You understand? What you were just became two with one. And that's how you built the bigger, better of you up that way. But in reality check, right? That way is animalistic, because understand what I'm trying to tell you, right? If I say you're my girl, right? And all I do, right, is function to you being my girl, right, over all else. Well, that's always negative, right, to the good truth of me. And I'll explain to you why. Because in reality check, if I am a man and I have to function, right, and I have to function to another, okay, and everything that we do one together, right, is only negatively against us, because we know not the good God and truth of us, right? Well, in reality check, that is the foolish, crazy way of every static, twisted, scattered, undefined relationship of love that ever went south. See, if you're not established in marriage. How can you commit adultery? Jesus said, right, the only sin there is, man, is the nature of adultery. Okay? To go against yourself, right? What you know is good, absolutely, positively as truth, right? And if Adam would have crossed Eve back one more positive to be good as truth, right? We'd all been the bigger and better of it to the here and now reality check, right? But because he didn't, right, he crossed more Sheva, man. He knew what good was, but he didn't always know how to stay connected to it. Only cross all things negative back one more positive to be good as truth. God is the good feeling of all things, right? Only crossing one more positive than all negativity. Only adding you up to a bigger, better reality. And every time you cross negative with negativity, you cross devilishly delusional. I mean, to cross negative with negativity is the devil of you. And through that devil of you, you incarnate like Pista Sophia did, right? Shiva, okay, Lord Shiva, because he's the neutral god of nothing, right? Through the Hindu deity head, right? And when you cross negative with negativity, the devil of you is the Shiva shaft on you, because them neutrons become slightly radioactive to where they can't hold their bond eventually to reality check. See, when all things of creation and existence start coming together, right, as bonding matter, the more these atoms, right, were more positive in the space-time of them, to the here and now reality of them, right, the more their elemental matter built, you see, the more they went up on the periodic table, or went down, depending on how you're looking at that thing, right? So listen to me, man. The more you exist, right, to the reality of your atoms bonding, right, the more through the negative of you, right, only crossing you bigger and better to the reality of being positive and good, right? It's like a fertilizer on you. It's a fertilizer energy on you, because it's a lesser energy, you see? And here's how you do it. You only cross one more positive, only adding up, preset, to be good as truth, when you feel all negativity, until all only subtracts to one neutral nothing up out of your reality check. If you do, you can never suffer out of existence, decay, disintegrate, or die that. Unless you go splat, you can absolutely, positively have not a faithful doubt to the bigger and better of that. And if you do, you will always be good. Repeat as needed. See, you got 4 major muscle groups: arms, legs, chest, stomach, right? When you feel negativity in these muscle groups, right, you apply resistance to them until they burn like hell. You understand? Until they burn like hell. And when you do that, you put it down until you feel a blow. You hear me? You repeat as needed till you feel a blow. It's all about the motion and rest of you. And if you do that, you can never shrivel up out of existence, decay, disintegrate, or die a bad way, unhealthy, to reality check. You know, if you apply that to all you eat, I'm going to say it just grown man style: eat, drink, smoke, and fuck, right? In reality check, you will always be more positive and good, bigger and better than all faithful negativity. Now back to this marriage thing, right? It is set up, right, through that inferior Godhead, right? So you're always going against yourself. Listen, I love a girl, man. I've loved girls, man. I'll tell you what, I've loved them. Now, I'm a man. I've loved these girls, man. I love these women. I love them, man. I'm not going to lie to you. More than one time. I've loved these women, right? But because I'm part damn monkey, I can't help but maybe something catch my eye or a thought go through my head. Well, the way the world's set up right now, guess what? I'm living in sin, right? I've already committed adultery. What the fuck kind of shit is that? You understand? Listen, do what you can sustain. If you feel like you want to marry somebody because you love somebody and they're your girl and that's your guy, man, do the thing. But that is not why marriage started. Listen to me. The Book of Gleamings, right? Starting the Book of Gleamings, you'll understand why marriage was created. You hear me? It was created to harness that woman and harness that money. You hear me? It was created so that government could have a tax on it. Just like it's created right now. You hear me? Listen, ladies, I'm going to explain something to you. We're equal. Hey, I want to tell you something. If you stay more impregnated with positive energy, good to the truth of your shape, form, mass, well, I'll see you in the cosmos and I'll probably hit that ass. That's a fact check. But if not, you hear me? You're just some dumb old broad hooked up with some dumb old dude. And know the reality, you two, y'all ain't gonna make it. You can't. It's against you. You hear me? Don't you understand that? To be established that way is always against you. Unless, listen to me, unless you understand the positives and negatives of you. To work out your marriage always good. Death be damned. Nothing do you part. You understand what I'm trying to tell you? Your faith is a static, twisted, scattered, undefined lie. All is. It's a gamble, right? And it's a crapshoot. You don't know if you're going to come back positive. You don't know if you're going to come back negative. You hope. You might even be able to make a chart or something, man. But I'm going to tell you something. All Adam's creation of existence only exists one way here and now. One more positive, and lined it out, good as truth, bigger and better than all negativity. The only bond, one more positive, good as truth, with two or more Christ-like, to make the good God and truth of every shape, form, and mass express one to the here and now of reality. Not to exclude every dimension, time, and space, every shape, form, and mass of God you can think of. The God of all, I am. The good God and truth of Allah of all I am. And I'll explain to you why. There's only one expression of God, right? If you got any sense, that'll do for you. And that God better be absolutely, positively, have not a faithful doubt, right? The absolute bigger and better than all negativity. That's the only good God and truth of all reality. Check. Listen to me. And without being able to express yourself correctly, right? You're functioning in a way that always keeps you in a state of negative decay. Because listen, if you don't know that any bad feeling or any evil way you think ever existed, right? You only had to cross it back one more positive to be good as truth, right? Bigger and better than all negativity, right? Well, you won't do it. And you're always dying of it. No matter how positive things are, right? You're never good. That's the truth. Listen to me. In reality, you're existing to die a lie. And all that you add up to, right? Because of that faithful lie, right? It's killing you out to one neutral nothing. And that lie comes from monkeys. I'll tell you what. Good, bad. You hear me? Down. You know, no. Listen to me. These are all monkey words. These words have no development to them. You understand what I'm trying to tell you? They can articulate the good and bad of them. No animal can. You hear me? And I'm the only damn man here and now that can, because I'm the Father God of all, incarnate through the good God and truth of Jesus Christ. Right? The absolute bigger, better male energy than all negativity, creation, applied one to the here and now existence of all reality. Check. Because I know, absolutely, positively, have not a faithful doubt, right? If I don't go splat, all I got to do is cross back one more positive, right? To add up good, right? Until the truth of that negativity subtracts to one, neutral, nothing. Just negative of my here and now, only crossing one more positive and good from the inside out at 360 degrees, the bigger and better of all God, truth, reality. Check. Now, I've said this in a lot of other videos. I'm going to say it again. If a male and a female has a child at the time of conception, right? If that male is more positive, right, with energy, good as the truth is, shape, form, mass, that baby will be male. And if the female is more positive, impregnated, good with male energy to the bigger and better of her female shape, form, and mass, right, the baby will be female. Now, if you take these two, right, and you only teach them to cross all negativity, right, back one more positive, no matter what, no matter how traumatic, no matter how whacked out it is, right, it's just negative as hell to the degree in which it affects them, right, how can they not always be good? How can that not be the truth of them growing up and always existing to bigger and better? How can that not be the absolute bigger, better of every man, woman, child creation applied one to the here and now existence of all reality check of matter. Listen to me. The more positive matter you have, the bigger and better good ass truth of all reality check you are. And just to let anybody know, man, that might have a faithful doubt about my intentions and who I am, right? Well, this is a fact check. I'm a true reflection and expression of love of all mankind. I believe in honesty, I believe in decency, I believe in courage, and I believe in respect. I believe that from the time we're born, right, to the time we die, right, we have overseers, blind and undefined out of their minds, right, molesting us, man, and raping the goodwill of us, negatively defined, faithfully defined, man, enslaving us, man, to death and division. I believe that. I studied it. I don't give a fuck. You hear me? I study everything. Study it from the smallest particles of everything, creation of existence, all the way out to the reality of the here and now of this video. Just to state this to you. Listen, well, regardless of what you think of me as a man, right? That's a flawless way to be. And no matter who you are in this life, no matter who you are, you know, I hope and I pray, right? That'll give you something that'll create you forever, only bigger and better, only doing good as true. And all else, man, who don't understand it or who don't get it, well, all I can say is you won't make it. Because if you don't know to take all your of negative energy and just cross it back one more positive to only add up good to the truth of you, right? What is that? That's making all you are at 360 degrees more positive than any negativity, the neutral nothing. That's the bigger and better of all God truth reality check. And if you only go from one spot of the here and now to another, well, that's all your past, present, and future could ever be. One holy embodiment of matter of indestructible atoms crossing and bonding good as the truth of the life of Jesus Christ, absolutely bigger and better than all faithful negativity. And if you stay preset that way, no matter what happens, like Jesus, you will walk away from it and you will be good. And that, you can believe, is the thieving Holy Spirit of the good God and truth, the bigger, better man of all I am to the here and now of your reality check. Listen to me. Excuse me, my mouth is dry, but life is a miracle. You hear me? And no matter where you're at or what you're struggling to overcome or to achieve, know that no matter what you've been taught or no matter what you know, this will never fail you. I will never fail you. You hear me? Wherever you see anything good as truth, you'll know what it is. It's absolutely positive. You hear me? And that's the bigger and better of that negativity, and that's the thieving Holy Spirit, good God and truth of all I am, hanging out with you in reality. You hear me? Bonding out to bigger and better than all negativity that could ever destroy you. To one neutral nothing, just negative of you here and now. Absolutely, positively, have not a faithful doubt. Now, I'm an atom man. My whole shape, form, and mass is made of atoms crossing and bonding. If I'm more positive than negative, I'm stated good. That is the truth. That is the bigger, better of the atom man of all I am. Now, if I only cross another atom man, right, male or female, right, to the reality of their matter, right, and we only bond out one more positive, right, than all negativity, we are good. One bonded together, right, as truth. And the next time we see each other, we can only be the bigger and better at. Now, if we go as 2 and bond out as 3, right, add up to 4, well, the next thing you know, that's the bigger and better of all infinity. That's the bigger and better of all God's reality check. And I'll tell you something. Right now, the earth is in flux. It's our rulers. Listen to me. They got more satellites in space doing things to us that you just cannot believe. But I'll explain something to you. Listen to me. They ain't gonna kill us because they don't kill themselves. But they're gonna a lot of them's gonna do some things that global warming, man. I don't believe one bit. Listen, we're in a dome. Listen to me. Look, you got satellites in space, right? And you got radio waves coming to the Earth at all angles, and you say that doesn't warm the Earth. You say blowing up things don't warm the Earth, man. Listen to me. Plant trees. Plant trees, plant trees, plant trees. Cover the earth with trees. Cover the earth with trees. It'll take a generation. Listen, it'll take 5 years. You have you some good trees. Cover the earth with trees and do it now. You hear me? These trees will hold your soil down. You hear me? And no matter where you at, you hear me? You can get something with a good root, some sort of tree to do that. I don't care if you're in the desert. Spare no expense to it. That'll cool you off. Yeah. It'll protect you just in case things do get a little bit hotter. If they get wetter, I can't do much for you except say go to higher ground. You hear me? If you know where you're at, it's gonna flood out bad. Don't exist there, because in reality check it's gonna end up being one neutral nothing to you. But that's what my big problem with the government is. You want to be the overseers of us. You want to create all these laws and all these taxes and stuff, but you don't want to make sure the one thing that we need, right? The one thing the good God and truth of all reality has presented to us as paradise, right? And that's just with enough to sustain no matter what, right? You want to sell it back to us. You want to sell us our homes. You want to sell us our food. You want to do all these things and make money, right? And you want to take these matters and get rich off of them and be ruling parties and ruling classes. But here's the fact of life, right? Without a foundation, without something to go home to every night, right? You're always going to have people out on them streets. You're always going to have jails, prisons, and wars. You need to guess if a person does not have the ability to work or for whatever reason, man, give them enough to sustain, right? Don't make them beg for it. Just make sure they can get it. Make sure they can get it as easy as going to the post office and getting a stamp. You hear me? As easy as showing their ID. Make it that easy. You hear me? Clean up the streets that way. You hear me? Make it that easy. Tesla houses cost $5,000, right? I bet you can do them for $500. Who cares if a flood comes? Guess what? This is $500, man. We can work this. We can work this. Listen to me. We can work this. The way it is right now, man, our housing markets go up with floods. The housing markets go up with natural disasters. Housing markets go up because Donald Trump's fucking with the stock market. You know what I'm saying? People's getting robbed by Bernie Madoffs and just crazy amounts of prisons is being built by Bill Clinton, man. This shit's crazy. Listen, how can you ever take somebody, man, right? Hate them up to no end. Expect to be a positive influence in their life, or even expect these people to even look at you, man, like you look. No matter what you do, you can be raping, robbing, murdering, child molesting, thief. You hear me? I don't give a fuck what you do. Listen to me. As soon as you take a moment, right, and you try and make that situation more positive than negative, right, to come back good as truth. If you're alive and well and still doing the what's up of you, right. Okay, regardless if it's forced upon you or not, from that moment on, right, you have accepted it. You are good. You can say, I'm good. Listen, I did this shit. I'm good. Fuck what these fools are saying, right? And even the people that you probably did it to, right, unless you did some really horrific shit. And if you did, you probably need shot in your ass. Honestly, I mean, keep it real with you. Send a full home if they don't make it. Listen, ain't nothing died of being more positive than negative. good as truth. That's the bigger and better of all God truth reality check. Listen, not from the smallest to the biggest. Trust me, I've studied us from the inside out, the male and female anatomy of every single person I possibly can, to the good truth of all God truth reality check, man. And listen, I reversed engineered everything you could possibly think of. But it only did for one reason. One reason only. My whole existence is only based on this. Since age 3. Since I came into reality. I looked up at my mom. I seen that her motherly spirit was a nurturing spirit, right? And I instantly knew that was my spirit, because I only wanted it in all things. Okay? And that spirit was only a positive spirit that made me feel good as truth, right? A good nurturing mother, right? To the bigger and better of all negativity. And even when she wasn't, I was still wanting that. I could articulate that through the feelings of me. Damn, some faith. Listen, I've heard people scream faith since freaking 4, man. Listen, you know what your faith did? It took a 4-year-old, right? And it put him in JDC. It called his mom bad, right? Sent this kid to every juvenile facility after that, and institution, and then ship me off to Miami, Florida at gunpoint with 2 sheriffs, right? Make it back to Ohio, and they just throw me back on my mom at 16, like, here, you can have him, we're done with him. It was all a money endeavor. They didn't give a shit about my fucking life. They never did, man. You hear me? And I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. Listen to me. You don't know me. You don't know my parents. I stand in front of you for 2 minutes and you say these things about my parents in my face. You're crazy. You fucking... Listen, man. Listen. The reason why this cross was done like this. This is all part of a bigger, better plan. Listen to me. A fool's got to know their folly. And it ain't no mystery, right? It ain't no mystery why the faithful, right? And why pilots are why the government and the religions was put on the cross that day, man. It's because they're both a lie on all things decent, positive, and good at any time faithfully. Crossing us negative as hell, right? Foolishly to one neutral nothing. And I'll be the goddamn thief you steal your life back with, because I'll tell you something, man. Just like that day, I'm going to tell you today, I only do one more positive than that, man. Jesus is the good truth of you fools. You hear me? And in reality check, you're killing yourselves. Every time you apply to faith, you apply less than one more positive to be good as truth. And every time you do that, you apply to the neutron, and the neutron's always negatively deficient of the proton. And through this neutron, you create the devil of you, man.